My daughter, who is now 16, was a direct beneficiary of autism awareness because of the services and the knowledge and the understanding that's out there in the world today. People don't look at her and think that this is a child who with unexplainable issues. They look at her and they understand her in a framework of autism. And when people understand the framework of autism, they're much more accepting, and they're much more willing to integrate that person into their community.
One of the greatest feelings for me is when I'm out in the community with Ryan, and we're in a store somewhere in the community, and another child that I don't even know comes running up to Ryan to say hello, and that child is telling their mom or dad, "Hey, this is Ryan. Ryan's in my class at school," and I don't even know this child or the parents, and it's just such a great feeling, and I think it goes to what your ultimate hope is for, is just to be part of the community, part of the community and accepted in the community. I think that's what it all boils down to.
I think a big joy is seeing the things that other children learn from having students with autism in our classes, or any disability for that matter. And I just think about when children are out on the playground and they get so excited because a student, finally spontaneously said something, or it's just a wonderful joy for them as well, and a real life lesson, I think, to have that sort of education because of our inclusive model.
And really what it is taking into account the diversity of people's characteristics, whether they're on the autism spectrum or not. But I think the difference in those with autism, or one of the differences, is that you find more extremes. So you may find extreme strengths coupled with extreme challenges, or twice exceptionality.
And as much as we can do with person-first language, and we talk about children with autism, oftentimes the autism still comes first in people's mind. So that child is autistic. It's an autistic child. And so you get stuck on that first presentation. But the kids are so different. I mean, I can't tell you how many kids I work with in a week just because of going to different schools and in different homes and working. And there's not two children that I work with that are the same. They might have things that remind me of each other and learning styles that are similar, but they're individual, unique children, and that's what we have to make sure we don't lose sight of, and we make sure families don't lose sight of as well.
And the fact is that there are treatments that can benefit children tremendously. Not every child and not at the same rate. But it is the case that there is no reason for us to believe that the vast majority of children will be making improvements, and that we should not put caps or limitations on what our children can accomplish.
And recently my daughter had the idea that she was going to work at a particular government office, just as an intern or for the summer or do something. And so I called them, and I said, I have a child who's 16 and she's autistic, and I'm interested in seeing if there's some possibility to do this. And they said, oh yes, we have a volunteer program for high school students, no problem. And I said, yeah, but there's one other thing. And I wrote a whole book on autism, and still, my heart pumps because I'm nervous even now about saying, well, my daughter's autistic, because then I'm afraid that they'll say, well, sorry, we don't have anything for that. And they said, and she's autistic. And the woman who ran the volunteer organization at this government office said, oh, we've had lots of autistic people over the past few years. We'd be delighted to meet her. And they did, and she got the little internship, and it was an incredibly rewarding experience. I mean, that's how far we've come. Mm-hmm. Even 10 years ago, they would have said, autistic? Oh, dear.